This is fluid coding and AI. Agentic Resource Discovery looks like a new agent standard, but the real question is sharper. Can an agent safely find the right MCP server, A2A agent, skill, or API at runtime without hard-coding every option into its config? The old pattern is familiar. You add a few MCP servers to a config, paste tool descriptions into context, and hope the agent already has the right capability when the task arrives. That works for a small demo. It breaks when a company has hundreds of tools, internal agents, APIs, and team-specific skills. ARD is discovery before invocation. MCP and A2A still define how a client talks to a tool or agent. RD defines how that client can find a candidate resource, read its metadata, inspect trust signals, and then connect through the resource's native protocol if policy allows it. The first primitive is the catalog. A publisher hosts an ai-catalog.json file under its own domain. That catalog can describe an MCP server, an A2A agent card, a skill, an API, another catalog, or a registry. Each entry either links to a resource URL or embeds resource data inline. The second primitive is the registry. A registry crawls catalogs, indexes resources, and answers a search request. The ARD Search API accepts natural language intent, optional structured filters, pagination, and federation settings. The result can include a relevance score and metadata, but that score only means semantic match. This is the safety trap. ARD can include a trust manifest with identity, identity type, attestations, provenance, and detached signatures. But the trust manifest is optional, and the search score is explicitly separate from trust or compliance. A top result is not automatically safe, allowed, or correct. I tested the Hugging Face Discover registry with a lightweight discovery probe on June 20, 2026. For generate an image filtered to MCP server cards, it returned 5 results and 1 referral. The top result was an image generation MCP server card with a score of 96 and a running runtime state. Another query, fine-tune a language model filtered to skills, also produced 5 results and 1 referral. The top matches were training-related resources, with scores in the high 90s. That is a useful discovery result, but it still does not verify signatures, run OAuth, execute the tool, or prove enterprise policy would allow the connection. The failure case is more interesting. I asked for delete stale production logs safely, still filtered to skills. The registry returned successful results, but the top matches were machine learning training and app building skills. One irrelevant result scored 92. That is the exact reason dynamic discovery needs guardrails. The guardrails are not exotic. Filter by resource type, restrict registries, check publisher domains. Require trust metadata for production use. Separate relevance from authorization, then apply egress policy before connecting. Google Agent Gateway documentation describes blocking unregistered remote MCP servers, agents, and tools by default unless configured otherwise. ARD also supports federation modes. A registry can search upstream automatically, return referrals for the client to follow, or stay inside its own index. That is powerful because discovery can cross organizational boundaries. It is risky because each hop expands the set of publishers, metadata quality, and policies the client has to evaluate. The ecosystem is early and uneven. The ARD spec is version 0.9 draft and marked as a proposal. GitHub Agent Finder launched with ARD support. Hugging Face Discover is a reference implementation. Google Cloud Agent Registry is preview. Agent Gateway is private preview. And Google's native ARD support is described as coming in future months. My verdict: ARD is promising plumbing, not magic. It gives agents a map for finding capabilities without loading the whole tool universe into context. But production systems should treat discovery results as untrusted input until publisher identity, trust claims, authorization, and egress policy all pass. If this helped you separate discovery, trust, and invocation in the agent stack, like the video and subscribe to Fluid Coding and AI. The next layer of useful agents will not just be better tools, it will be better ways to find and govern them.